very serious today. You know why I'm being very serious today?
I have no bloody idea. Why are you being serious today?
It's all about the Rebels. I'm being very serious.
Yeah. Rebels. Put me to
I
sleep.
can't be serious. Oh, man. No, okay. We are episode 9. 10.
Is it 9, 10?
9, 10.
We got so many videos now. We could have our own, collection videos.
This guy's collecting. You see his little pilot video? Pretty good.
Yep.
I have to give him credit for it.
Yeah, not bad for amateur glue it together free software.
Basement Productions.
Basement Productions free software.
So here is what the plan is for this episode. We're here to talk about Rebels in 2.0, and we're going to go over some store championships that are coming up.
Make sure everybody knows.
And so all this stuff is going to be touched base on tonight. So I think before we get into the Rebels stuff, I think we should probably go over the tournaments. So as everybody knows, this is like
store champion season.
Tournament season. Yeah. So X-Wing is this is the last tournament season for 1.0 before 2.0 comes out.
I wonder what builds people will bring.
For the 1.0, you mean? Well, I'm thinking there's going to be Miranda Nims. I think there's going to be Poe Ray.
There's going to be some ghost builds.
There's going to be ghost builds.
Oh, man.
You might even see some Wookiee builds.
Well, it's interesting because we're going into store champions.
But guess what comes out tomorrow? Just so you know, Saw Renegades and the Reaper. Yep, they are out tomorrow. How do I know this? Because the store we play at already has the product in. Unfortunately, I was unable to acquire some of this merchandise. Fantasy Flight, you hear me? I need some free goo-goo stuff. Give me some free loot so I can put it on we can put it on our YouTube channel.
I've had no trouble getting Legion stuff early.
Oh, my
goodness. Your Rebel stuff comes to town.
But
you gotta wait.
But, I mean, all in all, it comes out tomorrow. So, what kind of looters you're going to see? I think you're going to see some U-Wing builds that are going to come out.
Oh.
Yeah. No. I honestly do. And the Reaper,
the
Reaper, I think you're going to see the Reaper, and you're going to see the TIE Silencer with maybe Quick Draw, if they can fit it.
Well, we'll see.
I'm thinking there's going to be some funky builds going on for some of those new ships.
I don't think they're going to shake up the meta that much before 2.0 comes in.
No, I don't think so either. I think people are just going to play with the ships to kind of get used to the ships.
I think they're going to take their little X-Wings and go, wings open, wings closed.
Yes,
wings open, wings closed.
I agree with you, but I mean
that's what I think is going to happen.
Remember what was stated by Fantasy Flight Games. They stated that in the new boxes, the Reaper and in the Saw Renegades box are the 2.0 stuff.
There's 1 and 2.0.
Yeah, so you're going to be able to see the dial for 2.0.
Well, we already have.
Well, no, you're going to actually be able to actually see the dial physically. Look at this guy, man. He's so negative about this. You know why? Because I'm talking about Rebels. That's what the problem is. Mr. Negative Rebel over here.
Hey, I play Rebels. Oh, wait, the Rebel ships I play, I have to wait until they decide to release those expansion upgrades. Yeah.
Anyways, so let's go over some of the tournaments now that we've touched base on the new release of the Saw Renegades and the Reaper being released, which I think will change the meta a little bit, but not drastically. And so we might see some pretty cool different builds in the next tournament stores. Yeah. But here we go.
These are just 5 of the local ones I've heard about so far. If it's close by or you want to be part of it, because they're filling up fast. They're all filling up fast. The first one I've got on the list is ages 3 and up. July 21st, they're having their store champion, and I'm pretty sure
there's 10 taken, so there's 6 left.
Yeah, last we looked, there was maybe 6 left, but they're filling up fast. Bastions, July 26th, which is on a Thursday.
2 spots left, but
Yeah.
actually I just found out that those spots also might be full, so I think it's full.
Yeah, so there may be a wait list there. It's on a Thursday. Stronghold, Magic Stronghold, out by the boot in Burnaby. July 28th, they're having theirs. Support it if you can. You have August 11th. It was originally a July date for Craving for a game, but it got moved to August 11th.
That's a really late one, actually.
Yeah. So, anyways, they filled up fast. They limited it to 24 players. 10 minutes later, it was full. So that kind of gives you a sign that there is still life in the meta out here.
I
champions.
think that's actually I think there's still life in the game. Period.
Well,
but
there is. I know lots of players that have decided to go play other things until September, but
which I think is a mistake, to be honest.
Yeah, the championships they're filling up quick. So Craving for a Game is now August 11th. All of these shops, if they're full, are taking names.
Waiting lists.
Waiting lists just in case they drop off. And our neighbors across the border at Gabby's, you'll find them on Facebook pages and all that. They're having their store championship on August 18th. And I actually might try to go down for that if I can get in. I gotta see if there's room or not. It'd be fun to go down and play some of my American friends.
See, Cravings and Gabby's are just before 2.0 release. So it might be interesting to see what might kind of but I mean obviously, but what I meant is it'd be interesting to see what kind of builds people come up with. If those tournaments is just going to be fun builds or serious builds.
It'd be fun to go support Gabby's. Seattle, that area's got its own meta. It'd just be fun for a shakeup. And another thing I want to remind people of, October 27th in the NIMO, we got the Kippers Melee, which is it's a large event, lots of games played, but they have a big X-Wing tournament there.
Which I believe is going to be, the new meta will be released by then.
Yeah,
the new 2.0 will be up there.
But it's I believe it's for charity. I think it's worth supporting. And I know in our regionals, the organizers were there pushing it. So definitely check them out online too and in Facebook. And I've seen pictures of their prize table, and I'd be surprised if anybody leaves empty-handed 10 times full. It's just
the prize table is probably going to change now too, right? With the 2.0 stuff being released. But.
Well, no, the prize table's covered with everything under the sun. But anyways, lots of stuff happening. And Hoth, when's the Hoth?
I think that's next weekend.
That's next weekend. Seattle, you got the Hoth going on.
I think we have like 3 or 4 of the Crimson Knight Ravens are going down there, actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can get away for that or not yet. Family in summer, I tell you.
Well, I think it's other things.
I'm getting booked up fast. Oh, man. And we got Legions going on. That's taking a lot of my time right now, too. I tell you, busy boys. Busy boys.
All right. So, I'm not that busy. Not at all.
No.
I'm really busy.
Now, what are you doing next Wednesday? Next Thursday? Yeah, next Wednesday. What are you doing?
Well, next Wednesday I got the Game of Thrones tournament.
Yeah, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Not busy at all. So, anyways.
But.
There's lots of store championships going on.
We are getting excited, people. 2.0. Getting excited.
Support your stores, and if we've missed a store championship in the Northwest, let us know. We will find a way to help promote it.
We keep telling you guys, post on our Crimson Core page.
Send us emails. Curtis reads them and deletes them before I can see them.
Why not?
But they do get read.
I do read them.
That's right.
I read them all the time.
And you tell me about them, and I go look, and they're deleted.
Just so you know, they're all still in there.
Oh, they are they?
They're under the other tab. What a guy, man. All right.
Oh, man. Anyways, I'm trying to drag it out. So let's see. That's another minute less. We got to talk about Rebels. Okay, fine.
Man.
Let's talk about your Rebels.
So we are doing tonight. We're touching base on 2.0 Rebel Alliance. So as everybody knows, there's certain Rebel ships that you will not be able to play with until the second wave comes out.
Yeah.
So
all of mine.
Someone's already crying about that. But they are coming out. So we're going to touch base on some of them. I'm going to touch base on some of the ships and some of the. I don't have any of the upgrade cards, but the upgrade cards are all pretty much the same. We touched base on a lot of them on the.
Well, what are the ships that are getting you play Rebels?
Yeah.
What are the ships that you're excited about and why?
Well,
throw that at me.
I'm going to touch base on a ship that we're all excited about, actually, including Scum players.
What's that?
The Hawk. The Hawk has gotten a huge boost. It's now a 2-2-3-2. It has a focus turn into a turret shot, and then a lock you can turn into a turret shot, like in conjunction, which becomes a red. It has a red boost action, and obviously it has turret. So the mobile turret,
pointed around.
Yeah, and the Jam Atrion red. That's a Jam Atrion with so it jams people.
Yeah.
But it's red. So the jam thing, which I'm actually playing with in this meta, playing a little bit with one of my loadouts, is a jam. A jam's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, jam can be a pain in the butt. I've tried it.
So one of the ships that everybody plays in Rebels is Janor's. Her pilot skill is 5 in 2.0.
Which is good because the high is 6.
Is 6, yeah.
So that's not bad.
And so her pilot ability says, while a friendly ship in your firing arc, and that's in the firing arc, so performs a primary attack, if you are not stressed, you may gain the stress token, and if you do, that ship may roll an additional attack dice. Where before, Jan's old ability stated that she would just stress herself, and you could easily just...
I've noticed they've done that, whether it's Rebels or whoever. A lot of the ships that had these great abilities that just worked 360 around them are now in the arc.
Yeah,
the arc has been added to so many ships.
Jan's old ability states, when another friendly ship at range 1 to 3 is attacking, so range 1 to 3, this is the one that's at 1.1, 1.0, if you have no stress tokens, you may receive 1 stress token to allow that ship to roll 1 additional attack dice. So that's her ability now.
So that's their way.
They've made a small adjustment to it.
That's their way of evening out a lot of these abilities, I think. Like I said, in the arc.
So now, for her to actually be able to stress herself and give that additional attack dice, she actually be facing, and that's her firing arc, not just the turret. It doesn't work with the turret, so you have to make sure that it has to be the primary firing arc. And Kyle Katarn, who's he was an average pilot in this, but he's a pilot skill 3. And at the start of the engagement phase, you may transfer 1 of your focus tokens to a friendly ship in your firing arc. So again, it was him just being able to transfer something whenever he likes. Now it's like, no, you can only transfer that when he's in his arc. So it's working more towards pilot skills. So you're going to actually have to maneuver your ships more and pilot them better than to just drive them out onto the mat and do all your stuff.
Well, I'm just looking at, you got Horton here.
Yeah, so the Y-Wing.
Yeah.
Excited about the Y-Wing stuff.
Pilot skill 4. And again, a lot of talk is how they're setting things up to support swarm play. And they've definitely changed them for that, because it says, while you perform an attack, you may re-roll 1 attack die for each other friendly ship at range 0 or 1, well, range 1, of the defender.
Well, 0 to 1 is while he's touching.
No, I know, but what I'm saying, though...
So you have to say 0 to 1 now.
They changed Horton so that he's more of a flies in a group kind of guy, instead of just getting to re-roll, what was it, blanks or something?
Well, let's see, I'll pull him up, because it's easier. It's just as easy to pull him up, too. So... and that's the where's my Y's? But Horton's ability says when attacking at range 2 or 3, you may re-roll any of your blank results.
Well, exactly. Whereas here they have it at range 1.
0 to 1.
And you need and you need friendly ships around you to get a re-roll. So again, they've changed something that was great for a turret weapon, TLT from a distance, and turned it into a ship where
it's a bit more of a support.
Yeah, it flies. I mean, I'm not a fan.
Well, he's not a fan anyways because he's not a Rebel player, so he doesn't care.
I'd fly him now and then. I love flying him wherever.
Yeah, but we don't have TLTs anymore, so it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah. Anyways, okay.
And then the other one that I had written on that is Dutch Vander, for the Y-wing.
Yeah, I never flew him.
Well, Dutch says after you perform the target lock action, you may choose one friendly ship at range 1 to 3. That ship may acquire a target lock on the object you locked, ignoring range restrictions. So, in all saying, it's actually Dutch is like a long-range scanners, where you could target lock somebody out of range 3, now he can do that.
Yeah, but he's a pilot skill 4, so I'm thinking he's not going to be cheap. So
no.
He's going to be a really expensive long-range scanners.
But they have bumped up the point totals to 200.
Yeah,
so
but it's still a one-die defense ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's still other stuff. There's still other stuff that goes with that. I mean...
I love poking at the rebels.
So... But, I mean, he was all excited about Scum, but he's not getting very enthusiastic about this, is he?
Yeah.
No. You know, you put a little
I'll get
enthusiasm.
when they put up the other upgrade for the New Hope. Or
one of the other ones I wanted to touch base on is the E-Wing. I have been wanting to fly an E-Wing since I saw the ship.
They're a good ship.
And I really like them.
Andrew flies them great. There's a couple players in Seattle.
They fall out of the sky really fast. And they really only have one good pilot that you can use. The rest of the pilots are very mediocre. I'm going to say mediocre.
You have to fly aggressive with them.
So they, in the E-Wing, and I've only, I've copied down a couple, but, one, actually. So the E-Wing has focus, evade, a white target lock, a barrel roll into a red lock, and a boost into a red lock. So if you're wondering what I mean by that, is it's push the limit, right?
Yeah.
So
that's
you can barrel roll.
So it's integrated into the
now you can barrel roll the E-Wing and then automatically give it a target lock after you barrel rolled it for a second action as push the limit to lock
stress,
which you get stress, right? So, but it also has experimental scanners that they've added to it. So you can acquire locks beyond range 3. You cannot acquire locks at range 1. So again, this is more like a long-range scanners, where those ones, the same thing. You can't target lock when you're in range 1 to 3, I think, target ladder scanners work. So
they've changed it here.
But here, experimental
basically,
scanners.
range 2 to off the board, they can get a target lock.
Right. So you can acquire locks beyond range 3.
Yeah. So
it's three or more that you can require target lock. So if your E-Wing is within range 1 to 2, you're not going to be able to get a target lock with it, with experimental scanners. But I copied down Gavin Darklighter, which says he's a pilot skill 4, and while a friendly ship performs an attack, if the defender is in your front arc, the attacker may change one hit result to a crit result. So that's kind of like Biston and that's the reason why I wrote it down, because it reminds me of Biston.
Yeah, it gives him a Biston. I like Biston.
So his pilot ability is Biston, pretty much, where it says I'm going to change a hit to a crit. So that's pretty good. And, and it gives it a little bit, and the ship is a little bit more maneuverable, because I believe the old E-Wing, if I am correct, which I am going to double check now so I don't get into, is a 3323. So he has an internal hull of 2, so they increased his hull by 1.
That's not bad.
So now he's 3s straight across the board, the E-Wing, which gives you a little bit more playability and survivability with that, right?
I think with the E-Wing, it'll just be down to cost.
But they're going to be, again, they're a support ship.
No.
The E-Wing is supposed to be more of a hammer ship.
Yeah.
But Corran new ability on the E-Wing says, at Initiative 0, so when you're touching, Initiative 0, sorry.
Yeah.
You may perform a bonus primary attack against an enemy ship inside your bullseye firing arc. If you do, at the start of the next planning phase, gain 1 disarm token. So his ability is still a double tap, but now you disarm. It's pretty much the same.
Well, no, it's not the same thing. The guy's going to be in his bullseye firing arc. So instead of having this firing arc to do your second attack,
yeah, no, it has to be a little bit more.
You have that one.
Yeah,
not the same thing.
Whereas the old Corran, this is what the old Corran states. It says at the start of the end phase, you need to perform 1 attack. Yeah. You cannot attack during the next round.
Yeah.
So he can double tap.
Both of them, you attack and you lose your attack next round. It's just they've taken his second attack
and made it smaller, so now he has to.
And they've neutered it.
Well, they've also made it again. They also stated
they better fix the cost. There's the problem with those ships where they were too damn expensive to play.
I agree with you. I
Great ships. I loved flying them or playing with them, but they were way too expensive.
I do agree that the ship does have to come down in cost. So hopefully it does come down in cost a little bit, so it's not so expensive for people to fly them. And I'm hoping that with all these fixes and all these changes that they're making in any of the factions, not just Rebel, not just Scum, not just Imperial, but that they're fixing stuff that needs to be fixed, and they're going to do it properly.
All I know is I want Gen Con to hurry its ass up and happen, because they'll release the software we're waiting for to see what the hell these ships do.
Yeah, and the software, once the software is released on the app that you're going to be able to use, you're going to be able to see the costs of things. Yeah, so that's going to change
what matters.
Whole new perspective.
Yeah.
On a lot of things.
All these changes are fantastic, but until I know what it's going to cost me to fly it,
yeah,
it's all hearsay.
So I'm going to. So one of our pilots in Crimson likes flying his A-wings. So we did a little bit of research for the A-wings. So how about you go over some of the pilots for the A-wings?
Yes, Jake Farrell. All the A-wings are 4s, by the way. Which I thought was, well, the 3 that you got listed here, 10 nub.
Yes.
Braylon, what's that?
He's a B-wing.
That's a B-wing?
That's a B-wing.
You didn't put B-wing here.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry.
I'm just teasing him. Never mind, ignore us. Okay, so anyways, Jake Farrell. After you perform a barrel roll or boost action, you may choose a friendly ship at range 0 to 1. That ship may perform a free focus. So he doesn't get the free focus?
No.
Well, no, it says 0 to 1.
Yeah.
It says choose a friendly ship at range 0 to 1. So he's friendly.
He's friendly.
So so he can get it, or he can pass it on.
Or he can pass it on.
So now he's even more broken. That's fantastic. Okay.
He's not broken.
I fly him. And I get 4 actions in return with them.
He can't get 4 actions. He can't get 4 actions.
Well, we don't know what upgrades we could put on him.
True.
There may be an upgrade that gives,
But he also have, and so finish reading that.
Vector
and then there's also vector thrusters.
Which after you perform an action, you may perform a red boost action. So he's limited to 3 actions.
No, he'll be limited to 2 actions.
Well, no, because it says after you do an action, you may choose a friendly ship at range 1 or whatever to perform a free focus action. So he does his action, takes his free focus, and then he does a boost and becomes stressed. So that's 3 actions. Maybe there's a card out there. Anyways.
But that's
he's gonna fly different, I think.
He'll fly way different.
Because that's a boost. That's not a barrel roll. Because I think the trick now is you do a boost and then do a barrel roll or something like that.
Well, I think he barrel rolls first and then he boosts.
Then he boosts, yeah. Well, we'll see after that how that does. And who's this guy?
Braylon.
Oh. While you defending or performing an attack, if you are stressed, you may reroll up to 2 of your dice.
So that's not. It's kind of like Ezra.
So trading off getting any focus or protection, you get to reroll your dice, and hopefully you're rolling well that day.
But they have made. They've also. You have to understand. They made the game shorter.
I'm just poking.
I know he's poking, but they made the game shorter along the lines of where ships are going to fall out of the sky faster, so the games aren't as long. Right?
Well, I thought that too, but I've seen other ships where I'm looking at now and I'm going, well, they're defense monsters. So, again, Gen Con, release the app, release the hounds, and we can see what we're playing with. Two of my favorite ships that I like to fly, and we'll just touch base on them quickly, and then I want to touch base on the Falcon. Lawrick. Not my Falcon. No. Your Falcon.
Yes. Lawrick. Wookiee ships. I love flying the Wookiee ships.
You do.
So,
you do.
Lawrick is one of the more popular ships that's being flown in the version 1 of X-Wing. So his new ability, he's a 3 pilot skill, which is 3 lower than the top pilot, which is 6 usually.
Yeah.
So he's 3 lower, so he's not as high pilot skill. Where right now I believe he's 5. Yeah, he's a 5 right now, so he's pretty
in the middle of the pack.
He's in the middle of the pack again. So his ability says after a friendly ship at range 0 to 1 becomes the defender, you may spend 1 reinforced token. If you do, that ship gains 1 evade token. It is the same thing, but you have to be within range 0 to 1 for you to use it.
Again, the swarm concept.
Right? And reinforce works differently as well in the new version. So where before you could take your reinforce if the opponent was in any of your rear or your back firing arc, if his base was in either, you would get the reinforce no matter where it was.
Because you had some of it in that half of the ship.
Where now it's not so much. Now it's only in the arcs. So you have to only get it. You only get it in the front, or you only get it in the rear.
Yeah, that sounds dangerous. I don't know what parties he goes to, but
it's pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
But so his ability hasn't changed all too much, which is kind of good. But the reinforce action itself has changed.
I think the dial's a little different too, if I remember right.
Yeah, they
I apologize, I didn't write down the dial, but
yeah,
I think you're gonna have fun flying them.
Yeah. So the other ship that I like flying, that I'm really good at flying, that I love flying, is my Arcs.
Arcs, yep.
So my Arcs 170, they have a focus lock with a red barrel roll. So what's one of the more popular things that you add to your Arcs? Usually vector thrusters to barrel roll them to give Nora or Shara a little bit more durability, maneuverability-wise.
I like to apply harpoon missiles to them.
So, but their bar is a 3, 2, 1, 6, 3. Now you're probably wondering what the 5 means. So the arcs still have a front and a rear firing arc.
Yeah.
So out of the front firing arc, you can throw 3 dice. Out of the rear arc, you throw 2. So they've made it very clear on the board, on the base ship base, that this is what it is.
Yeah.
So you're not kind of wondering what it is. There's no Overhaul Alliance anymore. It's just automatically, Overhaul Alliance is automatically inserted.
Yeah, their attack is set up so they get a front and a rear attack.
So the Overhaul Alliance is automatically inserted.
It's all there.
The agility is still 1. Their ship's hull hasn't changed. It's still a 6. And the shields are still 3. The thing that has changed, obviously, the pilot skill, which is obviously can't go higher than 6.
Yeah.
But the pilot abilities as well. So Shara loses her ability to let other people spend her target locks, and she gains Nora's ability. So you can add a focus result to Shara Bay, which then you can find a way to flip it, right, into making it a hit. Where Nora's new ability says, while you defend, if there is an enemy ship at range 0 to 1, you may add 1 evade result to your dice results. So you're adding a dice. So you still get your roll, and then you add 1 evade.
So when Fen Rao comes in at range 1 to do his 5 dice of joy, you're going to get a free evade for that.
You get at least 1 evade, which is kind of cool.
Well, it's good because
it keeps her alive. It keeps her alive a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But the one thing I was kind of disappointed in is the fact that they didn't really give it all too much more, right? They changed the pilot abilities and the skills, which was really cool one. Like Nora's ability was really cool. With Shara's ability to be able to spend her was good. But I was looking for something else, like maybe give them an extra, because of the type of ship they were. It would be nice to give them an extra agility, so that they have a 2 agility.
They were fighter craft. They were meant to go in and kick butt.
Yeah, and get out. So
but you said it had a barrel roll built in.
It does have a barrel roll built in. It's a red barrel roll, but it is built in.
Red. I noticed there's a lot of red.
Well, it's like push limits, right? That's kind of what it is. I know you don't like that ability that they built in the push limit, but I kind of like
I like push limits left out of the ship builds because it allows you to choose what you're pushing the limit for. With the new way that they've done it, they dictate what you're pushing the limit for, and some of their choices are ones that I would have never picked. So
yeah, but there's choices that are normally used for those ships anyways. So. And
yes,
I'm pretty sure what they've done is they've studied tape on what people are using push the limit for on loadouts and stuff, and they've just inserted a bunch of that into ships. But I mean, you know what? It's a game. It's not going to be perfect, right? There's going to be adjustments and things that need to be changed.
But that's what 2.0 is for.
That's exactly what it is for, to make the changes. I was going to go over the centipede, but we don't need to.
Don't go over the centipede. The rebels are his thing. I have to give. Every dog has his day.
So the centipede shuttle again has 5 on his bar. So he's got a 2, 2, 2, 4, 1. So he has 2 out of the front, 2 out of the rear, 2 agility, 4 hull, 1 shield. So they have an ability called Comms Shuttle. So while you are docked, your carrier ship gains covert before your carrier ship activates. It may perform a covert action. So, for instance, if it's docked into the Ghost gains a covert action. So the Ghost for free action can covert somebody to.
What's covert?
Covert, man. The where you give another ship an action ability. Yeah. So what happens is the ship docks. What a jerk. So the abilities are giving them Comm Shuttle gives them that ability to be able to do that. So instead of like a double tap like they use with TLTs, now they're going to be able to use covert as an extra action and get a free action. So the Ghost becomes more of something that you can pass an action off of.
Yeah, I could see a lot of Ghost builds not playing anymore because of that.
Not necessarily. It depends.
I'm sorry, but unless if a Ghost has the twin TLT set up on it, it's a pain. If it doesn't, it's taken off the board pretty quickly. I'm sorry. Anyways, that's my view.
So next to the fact that he's complaining about Rebel stuff because he's whining about it.
I'm not whining.
However, he wants to do it. I know this is not his. I know this is not his thing. He's kind of trying to get his, and that's all good. So we're having some fun with it. But one of the things I want to touch base on quickly for the last thing for the Rebels is the Falcon. The Falcon becomes one of the biggest. Is one of the biggest ships for the Rebels, which I'm still not overly impressed that Scum got one. Just saying.
Well, you know what? I looked at the Scum one. I was thrilled that they were getting one. I've seen it. It's kind of like when you get a big box at Christmas and you're all excited and you unwrap it, you open it up, and there's just a little box inside. I'm looking forward to trying to play it, but the dial's not what it could be.
Well, I mean, the dials aren't. The dial is probably the same as other normal Falcon.
Well, no. It's not as good as the Falcon dials now. So
Well, I know that the Falcon.
Well, I don't know what they've done to the Rebel one, so.
So, but the Falcon has the focus, target lock, and a red boost rotate. So you're going to be able to boost with the Falcon, but it's red.
That's cool.
You get 2 red double arc, 1 green, 6 hull, and 3 shields, and it's on a medium base instead of a large base. So they're moving the Falcon to a medium base instead of a large base.
Really?
Yeah. And
all right.
And then, so I'm assuming that the new Falcon that they're going to be releasing is going to be smaller. It's probably going to be a smaller ship, maybe.
No, it'll be the same size. I mean, you're gonna.
I don't know, like the medium base.
Falcons.
It's on a medium base.
The old Falcons got to go on a medium base. The new ones will. I just, you know what? I keep.
But Han Solo is cool.
Is expertise still in the game at 2.0?
No, I don't think so.
I'm not too sure. It doesn't matter if the Falcon takes red.
After you roll dice, so Han Solo's ability, it's still pretty cool. He still gets to roll all of his dice, but it has a small change.
Small change.
After you roll dice, if you are at range 0 to 1 of an obstacle, you may re-roll all of your dice. This does not count as re-rolling for the purpose of other effects. So Han Solo's ability states that if I'm close to an asteroid, I can re-roll all my attack dice. You roll it, and it doesn't include a re-roll. So you roll those, and then he's like, "Oh, I have 2 more blanks. Well, I'm going to burn the target lock. I'm going to take those 2, and I'm going to re-roll again." So you get to roll pretty good. So I mean, do I see Falcon builds being built? Yes, I do.
Do I see you flying carefully around rocks?
Nope.
I see you flying on them.
Yep. I'm going to definitely try practicing flying closer to them, because if I do decide to fly Han Solo, I would like to use his ability.
What about Chewbacca? In that release, Chewbacca's the only.
No, they haven't really released Chewbacca. They haven't really said anything about anything else. So it's kind of interesting to see what's going to transpire with all that.
Yeah, see,
but the new Scum ship has Lando, so everybody's seeing what Lando's going to do. But there's nothing on the other that I have seen. I'm not saying it's not out there, but nothing that I have seen where it's on any of the other pilots for the Falcon.
I want to know what they're doing to Rey. And that new bomber, that Rebel bomber, that new one. I went out and I bought 2 of those things because I absolutely love them, and I have no idea what they're going to do to them either.
I don't think they're going to change those resistance bombers very much.
Those things are so much fun.
I don't think they're going to change the resistant bomber too much because it's not really.
Well, it's not that. It's the goofing around with all the upgrade cards. So I don't know if the upgrade cards that play with them will be around or not.
We do have to go, but I just want to touch base quickly on the upgrade card thing. I realized, like, for us old players that have been in the game for a while, unfortunately, I haven't been in the game as long as this gentleman has been.
I am old, so it's okay.
But I honestly don't. I get where everybody's coming back with the upgrade cards. You still get to build your own loadouts. You just don't know the point costs and what things are going to be done. So they did go over a bunch of stuff when they released it. There's so much information that's been released that they can't release it all at once. There's tons of videos out there. Everybody is trying to get as much information
out.
out
there. It's just nuts.
Yeah, so
I mean, my side of it is
they've just drained you so much with information.
I am looking forward to 2.0. I will be just as much in the game then as I am now. It's just, I don't know. It's just the way. It's, as far as I can see, same ships.
You know what's funny though?
Same ships. It's going to be a totally new game.
There's some people that are actually thinking of switching factions.
Well, that's because they don't have to buy every faction now to get the damn cards that they want. They can just pick one and fly it.
Yeah, but there's some people that are thinking of switching factions.
I know some are jumping to Scum. I wonder why.
Actually, you want to know something? Scum have seriously gotten a major boost in this.
Well, they have and they haven't.
Major boost. No, they've gotten some major stuff.
They've got some good stuff, but so is Imperial. Rebels.
Rebels haven't. They literally
They've
done is
goofed around with some of the changes that I liked, so I gotta wait till.
they.
And that's another thing too. We sit here and we poke at this stuff until we have it in our hands and we have that app out in the marketplace, so we can see what things do. It's a lot of this is just hearsay and goofing around until we.
Yeah,
See what's
I
up.
don't see. I don't. I mean, we can sit here and talk about, go over stuff, and we still have to do the Imperial 2.0 yet, which I'm pretty sure he's really looking forward to, as he does play Imperial as well,
Yeah.
as do I. So we'll both be able to have good insight on
Have
that.
some fun.
But really, to be honest with you, I honestly don't think the game is it definitely needed a reboot for sure. I agree with it. Do I agree with some of the changes yet?
I just think
I don't know.
I just think if you go into 2.0 expecting to play the game
that we had
that
you're
we
gonna be
have
disappointed.
now, you're going to be disappointed. I think you have to go into 2.0 realizing
Thinking it's a new game.
this is a whole new game.
Yeah.
It is going to play different, and the build designs that the way you do your builds now and you think and you design for, it's going to be different.
Yeah. So all those builds that everybody's working on right now to try to win in tournaments and stuff like that, continue having fun with
you
them.
know who 2.0 is really going to be good for? Imperial players.
Yeah, they really
Because Imperial players, to have a good build, you have to fly that ship. You have to know how to arc, dodge, and just get out of town. Whereas the other two factions have been able to basically not have to do that and play well. So I think 2.0 Imperial players will probably adapt to that flying play style a lot faster than
the flying play style that they have for Imperials. And I'll just touch base on it. This is the Rebels side, but the Imperials, they're focusing on swarms with them.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, right? So all this faction Pacific stuff that they've had, they are focusing with. So all the Rebel stuff, they're focusing on Rebels helping Rebels, sacrificing themselves for someone else, so someone else gets that shot in, right? So as we're all familiar with seeing in the movies, right? So someone sacrifices their life so Luke can get that shot onto the Death Star. So,
yeah, but you know what? When he did that, he probably wasn't thinking about the player's MOV.
No, he wasn't. But, I mean, Darth Vader, well, what do you see? You don't see Darth Vader flying by himself. He always has 2 or 3 guys with him, right? So there's a swarm there, right? The scum, well, they're by themselves. They're scum. I'm going to backstab you to get ahead to do this because that's what I want to do, right? So they're focusing on all that kind of stuff, and I kind of like that.
I just think the fact that they're going to make it so a guy can pick one faction and always have all the cards.
That's awesome.
I think that is probably the smartest thing that they've done, period. I think that'll bring in more players.
I fully agree because there's lots of players that we talk to, new players like, oh, I have to buy that ship too.
I don't want to buy 3 factions to play
I have to buy that ship too to get that. Oh.
And that attitude, you could always go to eBay to get the cards. Well, that's a pain in the butt. And you end up paying for the card that you want half the amount. You might as well have just bought the whole damn ship and got all the rest of the cards too. so yeah, no, I think the best part that they're doing for 2.0 is that particular one. Pick one faction. That's all you ever have to buy. Have fun with it. I think that's great.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a benefit to a lot of people, and there's still going to be guys out there that are going to play all 3 factions and have ships for all 3 factions and play them. And you know what? All the more power to those players, right? But there's going to be people out there that just strictly play one faction, and that's all they play. Like Jason plays Imperial. That's all he plays.
Well, you're mostly a Rebel guy.
I'm mostly a Rebel. And I've been touching base lately on Imperial to get some kind of basis to fly a little bit better against Imperial players. So, because of the arc dodging, so I'm trying to learn a little bit more about that. But yeah, so, hearsay or nor say, it's all good. But we're looking forward to seeing where this is going to go. And stay tuned for more information on 2.0 as we get it coming out to you. So, just a quick basis. Saw Renegades and the Reaper
should be out
tomorrow.
In your stores.
Also, all of the tournaments that we touched base on, make sure you check them out.
Reach out because the store championships are being broadcast and they're being filled up ASAP.
Yeah, people are getting involved in them.
Yeah, get your butts out there.
So, and Also, email us at crimsonctg@gmail.com. If you have an event or you have something you want to add to us, go to our Facebook page, Crimson Core Tabletop Gaming. It's an open group, so all you got to do is click onto the page, join it, and you're good to go.
Yeah,
and then you could throw up your events on there.
Whatever.
Yeah, and we also post all of our videos on the Crimson Core page, so that we have them ready to go. And then you can watch there as well, so you can always scroll down and see some of the videos. I don't think we've posted all of them, but
no, but we're catching up.
But we're
almost there. We got 18 videos there now.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
That's pretty good.
That's not too bad.
So yeah,
our library is at least always growing, one way or another. We're getting stuff there for you to watch and have a good laugh at.
And we're all you Legion players, if you are watching, because some of you play X-Wing as well as Legion, don't worry. We've got Legion stuff coming too.
See, it's just coming. It's just coming.
So, all right. Have yourselves a good evening. Nice talking to you.
You too. Good night.